everyone. Today also we have a ethics question, that is, what was the form of ethics during ancient times? Was it an unidentifiable or theoretical doctrine? It means the question is we need to write what during our ancient times, was there any kind of explicit doctrine or any kind of which is related to ethics, ethical doctrine? Was it an identifiable theoretical doctrine? So we need to write whether there was an explicit doctrine, or what was the condition of ethics, like how the people or how the kings, how they were ethical, what are the sources of their ethical values. So here, first of all, we need to write ethics in ancient times does not existed as identifiable theoretical doctrine. As such, there was no explicit theoretical doctrine on when it comes to ethics. I'm using the word explicit. There was no explicit. There can be derived, but there was no explicit doctrine. It was comparably diffused in the form of shared meanings and norms of social relations. However, philosophical reflections on ethical codes began within Greek and Eastern civilization of India and China. For example, various thinkers like Buddha, Mahavira, Thiruvalluvar from Sangam, they all contributed to the ideas of ethics focused more on virtues and duties. If you see Jainism, if you see Buddhism, if you see the values and the teachings of Thiruvalluvar, they were morely on the virtues of life and the duties, the moral duties. So those things were the source of ethics during those times, in ancient times. Society in ancient times existed in a small scale, and social order was based in traditionally derived moral values and codes. So at those times, the value system was mostly traditionally derived, and it was on a very small scale. It was not a fully pan India. For example, when you talk about Sangam, those teachings were, Thiruvalluvar, those teachings were related to South India. Yes, later it was imbibed into North India, but during those times it was particularly limited to a particular region, or it was region specific. Okay. Now, the role of religion was positive, and the fear of judgment in afterlife was the most powerful force motivating adherence to accepted social values. It means religion like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, all these religions were not negative in nature. They were all positive religions. And if you see carefully, there was a thing when there was a phenomenon during ancient times where when they believed in afterlife. So because they believed in afterlife and that fear of afterlife, what will happen after our death, so most of them were adhering to the accepted social values, so that we get that karma, they believed in karma. Okay. So this was also a one kind of you can say the source of ethics when it comes to religion. Okay, because most of the religions believed in karma. Okay. Now social taboos were an important source of morality also. Now the core question of ethics in ancient times was how a virtuous life can be possible. How? During those times the main question was how it will be possible, through what means or by what deeds it will be possible. Basically, at those times, in ancient times, it was wisdom and responsibility. They were the cherished values. People used to have one day at a time approach to life. Strong division between work and life did not exist. Values of hierarchy and communitarian values of cooperation and obligations used to structure social life. It means the king, the king had to take care of the people. Fine. For example, when you talk about Kautilya Arthashastra, in Arthashastra it is mentioned the king will be happy when the people are happy. So it is obligatory for the king to work for the welfare of the people. Okay. Morality was deeply internalized and enjoyed strong internal sanctions against its violation. It means morality was very much, like you can say, it was an institutional framework. If you are not adhering to the social morality, societal values, or the moral values, then there will be sanctions against the violators who violate. Individuals' actions were accounted for divine consequences. It means they were linking your action to divinity. If you do this, then your karma. If you don't do your karma properly, so you will get this result. So that divine consequences was also a part of the ethics during ancient times. And wrong actions invite retribution in present and future time, as evil done in one generation could be punished in another life. That means they believed in afterlife. That is the karma theory in Hinduism. So here, because the thing is, it is also a 150 word question. You have to write all ethics in 150 word, like the questions. Not, I'm not talking about case studies. So you need to be very specific. So you may also mention about the doctrine, Buddhist doctrine. You can also mention about a Buddhist doctrine. Okay, that is the Four Noble Truths. It was also a source of ethics. Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. And you can also mention about that the attainment of nirvana. And nirvana, that is enlightenment, it was also in Jainism. So you can mention all these things, but the thing is, it should not look like a history question or a history answer or a GS1 answer. It should not look, it should look like a ethics answer. Okay, fine, that's it for today. Thank you.